This weed is blocking our exit.
We don't even know if we're going to be able to leave in a couple of days.
Despite its age, the wind vane would just keep on veining.
We're leaving and we forgot to service our...
Because this is a big component of being able to sail without getting exhausted.
The seal at the bottom is too tight. I think the inside of the tube is corroding and the aluminum oxide mixes with the grease in here. And it's a mix of aluminum oxide and grease. Because the seal is so tight, it doesn't seem like salt water is draining, there's like a salt buildup. Or we can also do is pump fresh water once in a while through it when we arrive somewhere.
That seems a lot better. We're a little more full than usual, but we managed to stow everything more or less cleanly. Under the floor. You managed to get the wind vane a little bit looser this morning. Hopefully that helps when we get into the open ocean. And Choco's already looking longingly at the shore. Oh, yeah. Good boy. We were leaving Roatan in great conditions, but we knew that the trip was only going to get bumpier as the wind picked up and we would eventually enter into the Gulf Stream current, which we would follow as far up north as possible. The best part about this trip was not having to steer by hand every moment of every day.
I have a feeling I can actually see the mountains of Belize.
As we neared Punta Allen, we knew that these conditions were only going to deteriorate as the wind would quickly switch from the north and crash headfirst into the Gulf Stream current. So we decided to head in.
Woo! What a night!
We got splashed a lot by salt water on this portion of our trip. So during our break, we did as much laundry as possible. I've got some of the laundry out in the rain, some of it hanging inside, because we've got rain. a northerly front. Robbie said he was gonna go get a fish for dinner, a fish or two, and ended up coming back with a fish that's the size of the dinghy. Well, you know, not the size of the dinghy, but a fairly large fish that can motor the dinghy around for him. Everything's looking in great condition despite the kind of rough sail so far. You know, nothing broke. We have some of our medical aid here, and nothing got wet. But we kind of have these like tiny leaks when we put the rail in the water. Some of the stuff here might be a little sensitive to wetness, so I'm glad it didn't, nothing getting wet. So this is why we're hiding. We can't see our neighbors. Although we have literally tons of food on board. Robbie went out to go get fish. We're having a nice fish fry while we wait for this northerly to pass. We got fish for the dog, fish for us. And then we were off again, in the direction of Cuba. A little more of a challenge to get speedily in the direction that we want, but we're going.
Well, it'll be a little windier south of Cozumel. By then, by 9 o'clock, I think we'll already be north of Cozumel. And then most of the storm wind stays south of Cozumel.
Lots of sargassum was getting stuck on everything. When we were on the inside of the Cozumel Channel, the wind died, so we were traveling by engine. But we never bring down our sails because the engine combined with even a little bit of wind pushes us forward more effectively than just the engine. Choco was realizing that it was going to be one of those long trips. North of Cozumel, the current had already captured us, and we needed to make an effort to stop it from bringing us towards Isla Mujeres. Then the current split, spitting us out northwards away from Isla Mujeres, where we were speeding between 7 and 9 knots, heading almost due north. But then we decided to take the current on the beam on our side and head more directly towards Cuba, with the current continuing to push us north while we would head more east. With all this sargassum, Robbie was the most discouraged I'd ever seen him by the fishing situation. Last night, with the breeze coming off the shore, even 40 miles away, 60 miles away, I could smell it. I could smell Cuba. It smells like farm and dirt and mulch, wood. It's got a very specific smell. It smells very different than the Yucatan coastline, for instance. Last time we were on this coastline, the wind was also off the shore, and it blew all the mosquitoes onto our boat, 20 miles offshore. The sargasso is the worst I've ever seen it before. I don't know if Robbie's seen worse, but it's almost like the whole ocean. Every spot of ocean, maybe a break for 5 minutes here and there. It's like the whole ocean has turned into weed, sargasso weed. It gets in the propeller, it gets in the propeller shaft. We have to put the propeller into reverse every half hour to remove the sargasso. It slows us down by about a knot. It's getting in the fishing gear, getting it on the lure, and then the fish doesn't go for the lure. We haven't caught one pelagic fish this whole trip. There's also less traffic this trip. There's the usual ships in the channel. I don't know if that has to do with shipping and maybe less fuel coming up to the island here. But whatever it is, it's quite noticeable. A little less stressful. We had a ship last night. It's always great when they're weird colors. It had a big blue light. I'm not sure who that is. We had a ship following us for a bit, and then it turned around and went the opposite way. Kind of spooky. We definitely, with this trip we're doing, do not want boats that look like they're following us or they have any sort of aggression. I mean, we are thinking of things like crazy boats full of Americans with weapons. We arrived at Cuba's shoreline, ready to beat our way against the wind towards Havana.